Probably for a good reason here. It's as he mentioned, it's really that UKIN rivalry, and MnM definitely at top of UKIN currently. Team to definitely look at as potentially making it into a pro league. The squad that used to play under MnM, the now Na'Vi, well, you know, they went pretty darn far. I gotta say, let's take a look at our map bans in the meantime. Put it up on the screen for everybody watching at home. Again, 7 maps, down to 1. Oregon first, out. Thank you so much, MnM. Clubhouse will get that as our decider. Hap, what do you think of it?
Technical map. I'm really keen to see. Like, I know MnM can play this well, right? They are strong on this, but I still have to see what Bekind is able to cook up here, because as we said, like they lost most of their matches in French League. They also tied a bunch. So it's really hard to say. They also had a recent roster change. Arv got removed for Chico instead. So I'm really keen to see how they will be able to pick up on Clubhouse here. But I think that MnM is the one favorite, especially with this veto.
Yeah, look, the last time they played in French League, I mean, I'm looking at their stats. It's hard to really compare, because when you're going up against teams like BDS, you're going up against real big giants of the region at Tier 1, it's very hard to compare. So now that they're at what we would technically consider their level, I think Clubhouse is a good map to do it on. It's a very technical map. I'll be interested to see what side they start on, because on your first Playday in Challenger League especially, you got nerves, and that first half can, you know, make or break the mentality on the team oftentimes. So I want to see them do well in the first half.
All right, let's see how this goes. Bekind versus MnM, the classic French versus British rivalry here. We'll toss it over to our casters. No bias, promise.
See, the problem is, Milos, you say no bias here. You're literally looking at UK Massive Shill himself coming up with MnM. I don't know what else you come to expect from me. But thankfully, to balance me out is Dev. We haven't cast together for a long time now. I'm pretty sure it was probably back in the middle of last season.
Yeah, I remember a G2 Rogue game that we did together. I think that was our debut one. Yeah, good times. It's been a while though, and I'm keen to get in here on the age-old rivalry. It's France versus the UK.
It's like as old as the world itself. I mean, MnM come out as the shining stars almost from the UK. I think they were the team that beat Na'Vi twice when it came round to the playoffs, who earned this spot in CL. And interestingly, I know that you've got these stats as well. They beat Na'Vi twice on Clubhouse. So it is a map they are comfortable with, they are familiar with, and this could be a banger of a game. Either that or it could be over in a flash with MnM steamrolling their way through.
Yeah, another thing about MnM on Clubhouse is they do love to ban the Montaigne. They've done it quite a bit before in the past to Na'Vi, to Fierce, and a team called London Esports. And the funny thing about that is that Bekind actually have one really good gleaming result on Clubhouse from the French League. That was when they 7-5'd Vitality themselves. So these guys beat an EUL team on Clubhouse. But guess what Legends played almost every single round of that game? Montaigne. So the glove fits perfectly here. MnM's common attacker ban happened to be an operator that Bekind leveraged to beat an EUL team on this map. Now, what that says to me is MnM are looking really, really strong going into this. Not only do they have the results on their side, but that little trick up Bekind's sleeve is already off the table.
Exposed, James. There's nowhere to hide. It's almost like they've done their research like any good team should and gone back to see what it is the other team does on this map. Imagine my shock. Let's get into this go. First round coming up on CCTV and Cash. You're going to find Bekind start things off on the attacking side here without their beloved Monty, as you mentioned. I wonder how many rounds they can take away. As we know, Clubhouse generally one of those defender-leaning maps in the pool.
Yeah, and sometimes we've seen if a team can edge out a 3-3 on their attack, that really does enable a victory or at least guarantee that draw in the second half. But I'm going to be keeping my eye on a few players from Bekind on the attacking side here. In particular, Rivers went 1.6 rating, plus 11 on his KD last time that he played this against Vitality. So I'm going to be looking out for him. And in this case, on that Thatcher roll, an operator left unbanned and likely to be leveraged by both teams here. You know what, Des? I'm interested to hear your take on this, because I know you're a nerd like me, right? You love to get into the nitty-gritty of the game, and for me, it's always fascinating to see what hard breaches attackers elect to bring on Clubhouse when you have them all available. Here we've got all 4 of the hard breaches, plus all the secondary hard breaches, and Thatcher. So there's like 2 completely different opposite mentalities. You could like, I'm going to Maverick trick the walls and then soft breach it, or you can just go for the more stock standard Thermite or Ace, and that seems to be what Bekind is going for.
There's a lot of thought, especially on this map, I think, as well, because it is one of the maps that dictate you tend to bring a Habana along, or at least before Ace was a thing, you'd have to bring the Habana because of the number of hatches you have to open up when you're attacking onto the downstairs. But I think here they kind of get the best of both worlds, where Thermite retains his spot as the big hole opener. Everyone knows his famous quote is opening a big effing hole, go figure. You've got the Ace here, I think, more for the Selmas to make use of those hatches if you need to, but if you're on a site where the Selmas aren't required for hatches, hey, go nuts and start throwing them at walls. Between them, they have got so much destruction, though. Think about it. Although the Selmas aren't as big as, say, a Thermite charge, you still have 5 very decent holes you can open on a number of walls here. So even with the Bandit coming along, they should still be able to find something. Not that that matters right now, because Jonker has found one of those ratty little runouts from Strip Club Runout and managed to pick up one on the other side. Most critically, it's one of those hard breaches we were just discussing, James.
That's a significant blow for Bekind here, but the deployable shield from Smoke is a little bit too late. That enables the Zephyr to throw that concussion in through the drone hole, which then denies the bandit trick, which allows the Ace to detonate the Selma on the main wall. What a back and forth thing. This is one of the things I love about Clubhouse and the way that the meta has developed. There is a counter, and then there's a counter to the counter, and then there's a counter to that counter. And, well, I guess one way to get rid of all the utility and nullify it is just to peek and kill everyone. MnM is absolutely on point today.
Oh
what
God.
a disgusting 3K. Bonkers steps up massively to finish, or very nearly, this game.
Well, that kind of came out of nowhere. A man going highly aggressive off the back of Catwall, dropping down and killing someone on the doorway, and that's after killing someone through the CCTV breach. The man doesn't miss, and he makes it a 4K for himself, a flawless round to kick things off for MnM, and Bonkers doing all the work that his team needed. Although given the general flow of that round, I'd go as far as wagering that MnM looks pretty much in control there. The only wall being opened up was the CCTV one. They had a single Selma remaining with the exothermics gone because Legends died early. That was going to be a tough call, I think, for the other side of Bekind to find anything in that round unless they came up with a wondrous execute through their single opening inside the CCTV wall.
Yeah, I tried out a Finn joke, because he's from Finland, Finnish, but I don't think it works. Unfortunately, because he didn't get the final kill, so I'm kind of sad now, Des, not going to lie. But hey, good start for MnM. These guys have clearly not only done their homework to counter out that Montaigne, but they've got so much confidence in their 1v1s. Great run out from the Valk, as you said at the start, from Yonka. And, I mean, to be honest, Bekind kind of won that utility battle on the Kennel's wall. They managed to breach it open nicely, and they were in progress of exposing the angle at the top of Garage by opening up that single reinforced wall from CCTV to Rafters, when MnM just decided to go full send and peek absolutely everything. If I'm Bekind, I'm definitely going to be a bit more cautious in my angles in the future.
Looking at the lineups in this round, we spoke a little bit around the potential use cases for the hard breach operators that were brought along. Here, Legends has played away from playing on the Thermite and is on the Nomad instead. We've got Rivers moving over from playing on the Thatcher. He instead is going to go to that Habana that we mentioned. No Kaid. Kaid is banned away here, I should have said. Of course, we're not going to see it brought along in that case. I was going to say otherwise no Kaid to electrify anything up for them. But clearly the hatches are the least of the concerns for MnM here. Not going to dedicate too much time to it. Bekind, I think, should be more worried about this tiny little bullet hole that has been opened up on the other side, and surely he spots it. I think he might have seen it for almost half a second, but completely missed it out. This could be a free opening kill for Funkers if he ever saw one. No.
Decides to play a bit passive, but you can see Bekind rattled. How much time are they going to spend watching these angles? Eventually it does pay off, and Funkers shut down early. It's nice to see Bekind. They're not going to let MnM walk all over them. Not for the whole game, at least.
I mean, Plonker's trying to re-peek up there when he's already heard a few shots come back through that window. Probably suggests that Bekind had an idea that something was going on. They may have seen the bullet hole. They may have just known that that's the kind of thing that Plonker's likes to do, and re-peeking it is always going to put you in trouble. It does give them that small advantage that the Legion isn't on side, so you're not going to see two more of those goo mines littering the site later into the round. And otherwise, it's the control of dirt. They have 2 there. That grenade eaten up by an ADS, so users will receive that hot notification that someone is trying to push through dirt and trying to give him something else to think about.
Good drone from Ziden, spots out users on the bomb side. And Bekind unusually dedicating so much here into the dirt tunnel. ADS chews up that bit of utility there from Ziden, and Walker putting the drone in through. Users looking for that one as well. This is great information gathered by the French, but still not a lot of progress to be made. Actually, that's a nice pick. C4 in reply doesn't find anything. We're looking now, can Bekind begin to take map control, open up that kitchen hatch, because it very much looks like Arsenal is at the forefront of their mind.
Although they have got a couple here playing out, well, a couple playing through, sorry, into dirt, as you mentioned, and a couple more playing down towards the south. You got Legends, by the looks of it, playing down inside of the tunnel, and you got one playing up on the rappel above them all as well. So with the members they've still got, and there's of course one more lurking around. That'll be El Chico, I think, playing on the drones for them right now. They still, of course, have smokes to play around as well. Yuzu's going to pop up and find 2 for the team, though. Walkero and El Chico gone, and like that, the 1.5 minute or so of effort they put in to get themselves into a 5 versus 3, erased by Yuzus on the Valkyrie.
Ziden's been here the whole round, but that Valkyrie has been slipping through his fingers. Legends trying to push through blue. Yonker is holding that angle. It's a 3 versus 3 with just a few seconds left, but Nath does find that kill with the SMG-11. 3 versus 2 now, and there's no chance for Bekind to get back in this. Completely gassed out, and Ziden will be forced back. Really, it's just exit frags, and thank you, medics. The diffuser's still in kitchen. There is no hope whatsoever of this round swinging back in the French's favor.
I only just realised, to be fair in all of that Nathan has renamed himself to Nath.
Yeah, I was. Well. I noticed that. I was like really unsure whether to call him Nath or Nath. Is that meant to be like an in joke or like a lisp joke?
Nath is the lazy way of saying like Nath with a TH, right? N-A-F-E, like Nath.
Yeah.
Rather than Nath. It's like people who say free as in, yay, I'm free, rather than I'm 3 years old, for example. I think that's kind of what he's going for with that one, but it's definitely Nathan. Don't worry, there has been no mystical roster change at the last second for MnM. It is very much so the team that was together when they destroyed Na'Vi previously. Gym and Bedroom going to be the third site that we head to, and as you saw, MnM are currently 2-0 up. That site then looked a lot better for Bekind, mind you. I think things worked out a lot better. They didn't find themselves running into these gunfights where Fonkers was more than happy to take constant 1v1s. Things were more coordinated, but sadly, when Users pops off the way that he does and undoes all of your hard work, it's a bit of an uphill struggle there with the time running down towards 0, and smoke canisters still left on the side of MnM.
Well, the shame is, for me, looking at that from the French's perspective, is they did really dedicate hard to pushing through dirt and oil, but if they maybe had a bit more control in kitchen, they could have leveraged that hatch to completely nullify the position of Yonker deep in Arsenal. That position near the green boxes can be exposed. You can get some really good angles, especially you got an ACOG from that hatch, but I mean, MnM's just peeking things and winning them. And surely that's not just simply that their mechanics trump Bekind's. That is very rarely the case. Do we see teams at this level have simply just one team can just peak things they shouldn't be allowed to because their mechanics are that much better? Typically, it's the team that is losing out a lot of these 1v1s is not expecting the aggression. Maybe they're tunnel visioning, they've got cluttered comms, and that then affects their ability to take these 1v1s. So I think Bekind just needs to wake up a little bit. I know it's a bit harsh to say, but start to expect some of these peaks. You can take the advantageous angles. You've got the ACOGs, got those high magnification sights, and start to punish MnM this aggression that they're getting away with.
They have enough tools here, the same as last time, to get these walls open. Thankfully, Legends has not been run out from Strip Club and killed this time too early. Can commit at least one of those exothermics to his team's efforts to getting this round underway with the CCTV wall being opened up. And now there comes the question of where they rotate next. They look towards going in through Garage. They try and take over Construction. I spoke about this quite a lot lately, where teams are varying between the two. In the games that we saw earlier on tonight already, we saw a focus in towards Garage especially, whereas in things like EUL, it seems to be the focus instead leans towards taking over Construction, pushing into Cash from there.
Like that angle there from Fonkers. C4 in the pocket could be tossed up all the way through into Con as well. Keep our eye on that later into the round to see exactly whether that is successful, but Bekind looking to take control. What is this? That's completely unaddressed, gets a freebie. And, well, I think that tells you a lot about this game so far, Des. MnM are quite literally running circles around Bekind.
Quite literally, and that feels like one of the most obvious places to put a Claymore as well. Like, I can't think of a round that has gone by where you aren't looking to play up there, where there isn't an air jab, or there isn't a Claymore sat on that garage door waiting for someone to go for a run out. Unfortunate that it does work out this way, but that is the Thatcher down and dead. You got Legends, who's rotated all the way across from opening up the CCTV wall right out across towards Strip, and is now looking to push his way back in. Quite a hefty rotate for a Thermite, if I do say so.
Yeah, nice that he at least got that Black Eye camera on site. Bit sad to see that he's still got a Claymore in his pocket, though, and that could have saved his teammate. He's now looking to pressure from below. Oh, but he doesn't commit to the fight. All he does is land a tiny bit of damage onto Fonkers. Remember, that is a very hard-hitting rifle, the 5.56, but Fonkers, he knows not to re-peek, and Yonker as well, ready to flank from below. So, especially with the C4s in the pockets of these players downstairs, I don't think the French have gotten in here.
Not just yet, they haven't, with 2 more kills flying the way of MnM. It barely feels like a challenge in a couple of these rounds. And oh my god, you're walking right in front of a man that has just railed one of your team members from the same spot. Even as C4 comes out to join the party, and impact nades are being thrown as well. Nade's going to swing back out once more and bring down Zyda. And my god, they have closed it out again with a second flawless round in just 3 rounds. I said to you at the start, this could either be really close or incredibly one-sided towards MnM. It definitely feels like it's leaning towards the latter.
Yep, very much so. I think MnM is well and truly in control, and I know a lot of people have been talking about who you expect to come out on top this Challenger League season. We just earlier had a big talk about Penta. Casting their game earlier was just, it was a masterclass. They made short work of Izaku. I was honestly surprised that the Boars were even able to get 2 kills. Sorry, 2 rounds rather, not 2 kills. I'll give him that much credit.
Surprise.
I mean, the Polish are all right, but, you know, the French are struggling here as well. And to loop it back in for a minute and talk about the bigger picture here, who is going to make EUL at the end of the day, right? You've got Penta with their experience through Challenger League, barely missing out last season. You've got teams like MnM who have made short work even of EUL teams such as Na'Vi themselves in their nationals in the UKIN. And I've actually got a quote here from all-mate Doki from Na'Vi. He said, "Good luck to the CL team starting their journey to R6 EUL tomorrow. My bet is on MnM and Penta. IMO, they are well above the rest of the competition." However, prove me wrong, I guess. Well, at the moment, it looks like the results are proving Doki right.
They are definitely in the right way, with Kavana also having that 7-1 in the last game, putting up a fair challenge. And the last time MnM played against Kavana in UKIN, it was a 7-2 to Kavana. That was all the way back on July 2nd in the very first week of UKIN while the team was still taking shape. But I'm always thinking in the back of my mind, what if Kavana hadn't faced off against Na'Vi twice when it came to the playoffs? And what if they've managed to get their way past Na'Vi potentially and even beat MnM to get that auto spot into CL? There is a lot more heartbreak to come in this story for at least a couple of the teams here in CL, and we are only in the first week. I really can't wait to see how this competition heats up. This round, though, being pretty passive to begin with, 30 seconds in, no one dead. Nice pleasant surprise for Bekind after how the first few rounds have gone. Otherwise, on the side of MnM on the defense, nothing really big to shout home about. You're looking towards a similar sort of setup once more, where they have the Bandit being brought along to help electrify a couple of these walls. But nothing, I think, to shout home about for either side, at least initially. It's more trying to deal with those that are playing in sight, and by the looks of it, trying to get control of Garage, given 2 of those walls have now been opened up.
No action, Des? Well, that's because Bekind is playing so passively and so cautiously. MnM have scared them. I do not whatsoever. MnM has terrified them with all of these runouts and aggressive peaks, even from anchor positions. Good Claymore there, as noted, but you know there are ways to deal with that. You actually can jump out and shoot the Claymore mid-jump if you're fast enough. Bekind trying to deal with this. I don't think the util is there from the Zafir to counter that bandit trick. Oh, actually 1 bit goes off. That's a nice job, but Yuzu's managed to get the most of one side wall, and now we're really going to be looking at El Chico to use his final Selma and breach that right side. It's not perfect for Bekind, but it's something to work with.
It's a wall that's been opened, and after how many they've already opened up in this round, I'd say it's definitely a standing success for them. The thing is, though, this just gives them that one angle of attack, and after all the work they committed into Garage, I'm expecting that to be their next point of focus. You can see the drones flooding in there right now. No doubt going to have noted that Fonkers is indeed up on that walkway. But looking at the drones as well, only a few out in the field right now. They've killed over half of them on the side of MnM. So when it comes around to Bekind's execute, this might come in somewhat blind for them, and they've still got a few magnets to clear out on that catwalk.
In particular, speaking of drones, El Chico, he's completely out of utility, so he's basically just a gun at this point. Dats finds one from down an oil pit. Bekind desperately trying to take control of Garage, but breaching these two bottom walls doesn't make much difference if you can't move up forward. And of course, Legend's taken out. Fonkers is playing passively. He knows he doesn't even need to peek, despite that 3k he got from this position in the last round. The nade may come up from the sledge, but Bekind just... is he out of nades or what?
I don't know so much out of nades, more that he can't, because there's an ADS up there. There's two magnets still deployed. Like, what do you do? Well, apparently, El Chico walks up the stairs and just kills him anyway. Beautiful to find a kill for them. That clears Garage out, but MnM have cleaned them up elsewhere. They're only down to 2 men left alive. Yes, they have Garage with only 10 seconds left. It's been a bit too slow, I'm afraid, here, boys. MnM put them in the dirt once again in convincing fashion, and these rounds are just flying by. What I can't believe the most is Group A tonight. We saw 36 rounds, every single game going to a draw or 7-5. Here in Group B, we've seen 3 rounds so far go the way of the losing side. This has been a speed run in Group B. They aren't messing about.
It's a tough draw, isn't it? Yeah, I feel sorry for some of these teams like Bekind and the Boars, who haven't really had, and August as well, I suppose, who haven't had the chance to show their true potential because they're going up against these insanely good teams. But of course, we are in Challenger League. There's no handouts here, and teams like MnM aren't going to take any prisoners whatsoever. Now, are you a betting man, Des? You want to say how many rounds do you reckon BK is going to get here?
Attackers need to locate and
the thing is, they have got 4 kills in 4 rounds. I wish there was a piece of evidence I could cling to suggest they might get something, but I'm not feeling optimistic. And given most of the... On this MnM side, we have a little bit of history where I think across the UK, Crazy was the lineup that I think of that had a lot of experience in attacking onto Clubhouse. And looking across the team now, I'm thinking that there are some remnants of Crazy in here. I wouldn't be surprised if their preference, and this is genuinely a preference they would often pick to start attack on Clubhouse, has carried across to this team. And I asked them at the time, what's the philosophy behind starting attack on Clubhouse? And they said, we're so confident we can get at least 3 rounds on attack, but we know we can go into the second half and the other side is going to be nervous about it. And no one expects us to pick attack first, so it just kind of helps. Bit of a mental game thrown in there as well, but we just know we can be successful. And given how they're doing on defense here, I would be very, very surprised if we get to round number 7, where MnM go on to attack. They then turn out to lose that round. This might turn out to be the first 7-0, and I'm willing to bet you a beverage of your choice when we do eventually get ourselves together in Paris. Unless you agree with me, in which case we can just buy each other a drink and call it a day.
Yeah, I'm cool to go for the trade. I think MnM's probably got this cut and dried. I would love to see Bekind get in this with run round, but it's a story of two opposites, right? MnM, the team that has exceeded even the EUL professional teams in their local region, winning over Na'Vi and Yukin, and Bekind, who has really struggled in the French league, which is stacked full of EUL teams. In fact, Bekind, they qualified 5th. Above them was only EUL teams, which is why they got the spot halfway through the French league season. But a couple of play days more along, they've even dropped behind 2 more teams that aren't in EUL. They're currently sitting in 7th. They are literally dead last place in the French league right now. I think Bekind may be a bit out of their depth here.
Quite possibly. And speaking to a few coaches around the scene who have scrimmed against them and played them, they said, actually, they aren't that bad. They're not as bad as the numbers would suggest, and just seeing it on paper that they've only got 2 wins. I believe one of those was against Team Vitality, who we know have looked shaky for the longest time, and one of them was a default win anyway. So I guess you could put down as saying there is 1 win for this team right now, and yes, the other one on paper is there, but isn't really a thing. Yeah, on paper it looks bad. And I thought, okay, I'll give them a chance. I'll see how they play come into the actual Challenger League season. And you have got one of the toughest, if not the toughest opponent you could face in game number 1. But this is not a good look, boys. Fonkers getting the opening kill. And once more, they're just finding themselves stuck. Here playing inside of oil. They've got a couple pushing down inside. Once more in dirt. What can they actually achieve from this? And when does use his toggle on and just murder everyone?
You can kind of imagine what this push would look like if Bekind did have a Monty, but of course that being banned out really has changed things. Now my question, Is this impact trick successful? Goodbye, Selmas. And yeah, there is absolutely no chance. Absolutely no chance of that kitchen hatch getting open, thanks to Rivers being the first pick. And those Selmas now destroyed. MnM are like, we know we have the advantage, but we're just going to pick bloody everything. This is our server. Get the F out. And they look to be in complete control of this game.
It is brutal because Rivers has been the first kill in this round for them. Legends was the first kill a couple of rounds back when he was on the Thermite. They are just bleeding hard breaches, quite literally. And now this looks like another flawless round coming in. Nathan on the stairs. That's going to be the third flawless round in 5 rounds. I touched on saying they found 4 kills in 4 rounds. That's now 4 kills in 5 rounds. Oof. This is not a look, boys. This is not a look.
Yeah, I'm not at all looking forward to the CGG ratings after this game.
No.
If you thought that Vitality versus G2 game was bad, that everyone kicked up a fuss about Fabian's low rating and how that was called out, yeah, you don't want to be watching after this one. Like, I feel like I want to say good things about Bekind, and it's not like I'm being overly negative. They are just quite simply out of their depth. This is a team who has done great things before, and they've leveraged, for example, the Monty on this map to get that win against Vitality. Now, that's fantastic. You playing in one of the most competitive national circuits in Europe, in the French League, where literally half the teams play in EUL, and you can't really hold your own there, but you can still pick up a win here or there, or maybe a few draws. Coming up against the best that UK has to offer, yeah, quite simply outgunned, out-strategized, and I think they'll be out of this game before too long.
I'm going to break a cardinal sin here and reference something I've seen Doki say in chat, where he said, in my opinion, looking at some of the best UK teams, they are some of the best going. Looking across Kavana, across Audacity, across MnM, they are some of the best. And naturally, there are a few challenges who are saying, well, what about Lowland Lions? What about Penta? There are obviously others still going in here that are going to be able to present a credible threat to them. But he does have a point that we do have a lot of talent in the UK. And MnM are one of these orgs that always seem to pull players that you just know are going to turn into superstars. And oddly enough, Doki is one of those players. Look at Navi's journey. It all started as MnM losing out to Team Secret season after season in the UK Premiership, only for them to finally break that curse, step over them, qualify through Challenger League and knock Secret down in the process and go on to win the whole thing last year. And it's almost feeling like, again, everyone is saying MnM is the favoured team to make it out of Challenger League. Can you believe that MnM might be the organisation that gets 2 teams into EUL, yet isn't present themselves there as an org? That is a genuinely crazy thought.
Yeah, absolutely a possibility here. Props to the MnM organisation for supporting these teams as they rise to power. And
the owner is doing a lot of cooking these days. He posts some very, very delicious looking photos. He's also a photographer, so I'm like, please stop. You've got a delicious team. You've got delicious dishes on Twitter. It's not fair.
Well, oh no, that missed drone. Beautiful from Yonka not to shoot it. And now he's hoping a player will just enter and give him a freebie. Remember, this is gym and bedroom, and Das is still holding garage, but Zayden does spot out the Valkyrie rotating through lounge. A C4 could well be deployed on the CCTV floor from below in lounge. Indeed, that's what Yonka's going for, but Das finds the kill anyway. Nade is an airball. Zayden goes down, that's the Ash. Walker all the way in oil pit as we saw him enter from dirt really early on, but MnM still have control of effectively the entire damn map right now. Bekind desperately looking for a pick.
They have a pre-play C4 and CCTV as well, I think. So Walker's going to probably rotate through and try and challenge onto it. But look at this again. Again and again and again and again. MnM to step up and find everything. Hey, look, there's kill number 5 for the whole game. El Chico bringing down Nate, but he gets traded out pretty much straight after. Woo! 5 kills in 6 rounds. I don't know if I've seen a bruising this bad inside T2 or T1 ever.
Did you watch the Tempo game in NAL?
No, I was sleeping, believe it or not. It's a thing we do around that sort of time of day here in the UK.
I think Tempo were as well, honestly, Des.
Was it really that bad? I heard it was a stomping, but I didn't know it was that bad.
Pretty horrendous. But hey, we get some of those one-sided games here in EU as well, apparently. MnM looking to make it a 7-0 at the moment as they flex onto their attack. Now, you mentioned the philosophy of starting attack, starting defense earlier. For me, I think it was the right decision. Now, admittedly, I know MnM won the coin flip. I'm not sure whether that means they got first ban. I don't know if that means they got to pick the side. But whoever chose the side, Clearly, it is favoring MnM. Defense is likely to be where a team is more comfortable. Very typically, you mentioned MnM are extra confident on their attacks. That's great. But if you start in your defense, you get such a significant lead. Imagine you are Bekind right now. Imagine you are Rivers or Legends who hasn't found a single kill this entire game. Imagine if you're the others who are just struggling to even communicate. They're getting outgunned. They're getting out-strategized. They can't fall back onto their comfort pick of the Monty. Everything is going against Bekind right now. And yes, they're on their defense. They should be able to hopefully clinch out something. MnM have all the momentum behind them, and I think that the waves are going to crash, and there'll be nothing left of Bekind at the end of this round.
You know what pains me the most is, like, there's not even a justification for this where you could turn around and say, and I hate to really funnel so much on a team here who may well be transformed next week, but you could turn around and say, they changed something in the team. They're on new roles. They have got some communication problems, or there's other out-of-game issues. Like, whatever it might turn around to be, I genuinely don't think there is an excuse for all 5 players to be able to find any frags in this game. Like I said, total so far, 5 across 6 rounds. Even if the team plays in tatters, you would hope at the very least you'd be able to frag. But there is literally 0 going for them. Again, I don't think I mean, even thinking back to like days of like pre-EUL, like looking back at past competitions, looking at SI, looking back to tier 3, I haven't seen this kind of play. This at least is a good sign though. Walker finding one onto Dats as he drops in a little bit aggressively there. Even though you're ahead, boys, let's not get too cocky here. If you want to end this game cleanly, now's the time to do it, because Dev owes me a drink if you do so, and I owe him one as well.
Roam clear at the moment for MnM. Fonk is dry peeking everything. It's the confidence MnM have, but there's a very fine line, Des, between confidence and laziness. And I wouldn't want to see MnM slip. I do kind of want to see the flawless 7-0. It would just be such a statement for MnM. And, well, who knows whether that round difference may end up being relevant at the end of the day. We've seen teams be so very close and just barely miss out on EUL in the past. Penta springs to mind. They had such a good run through CL, but even narrow miss here or there may make the difference, and you'd be surprised how frequently we have to break ties with round differences and other methods. The 7-0 here may just help out MnM, but for Bekind, I will have some kind of consolation. Oh, there you go. Nice shot from Nave, but some kind of reconciliation for Bekind here is, look, every single match that you play against a good team, every single loss is a chance to improve. You need to be taking this as a learning experience. Yeah, give it your best, try and win. But this is a great way to learn and then take the fight to some of the more achievable teams in CL.
Well, hopefully Zyden learns that when you're the only player with impact nades, you shouldn't be the one trying to peek onto those holes vertically. Gets himself taken out, and that is the kitchen hatch opened up relatively comfortably. I think now on the side of MnM, they've got open what they need to have open. Default cam's still alive somehow. So they're in a spot now where they should be able to go for an execute relatively soon. But with that time running down to 30 seconds or so, you get one shot at this, boys. All we kind of got to do is just snag out the diffuser, catch someone off guard when they're not paying attention, and they could find themselves with their first round on the board.
Yonker is in the perfect position to close this out. All he has to do is cover Nave.
C4.
There is no C4. Rivers, what are you doing? Have you got the C4 in the pocket? It comes out far too late, and he loses his head for it. All of the players are dropping like flies. UK massive, UK 7-0. And MnM make their debut in the Challenger League by completely putting to bed Bekind.
I winced at the end of that. God, he had a C4 in the back pocket. They must have known the drop came through. Yet no C4 came out until, what, 8 or 9 seconds after the fact that it even started planting? That was, like we said, Group B, man, it's on something tonight. These games have been so quick. And look again, 6 kills across 7 rounds. Oh my goodness.
I remember seeing a note in one of our production chats earlier on in the night saying, oh, we're running behind schedule, you know, make this faster. And I was just like, don't worry, guys, the last game's going to be pretty quick. I will say, I think I know why their name is Bekind, because that's what they're asking to their opponents when they're playing their matches.
Be kind to us, please. We've had a rough day. It hasn't been a good game. So hopefully the future opponents look at the name rather than just think, right, let's smack these kids into the ground and prove that we're here to show something. Either way, that was a very impressive show by MnM. Regardless of what you want to say about Bekind, that was still MnM playing incredibly well from round 1 with Funkers finding the 4K all the way through to round 7 to close the whole game out. Nothing else really to say about it, I don't think, James.
No, it's done. That's it. MnM, take the dub, move on.
You know what the scariest thing is? The analysts have now got to try and break this down. So you guys have fun with that.
Good luck.
Let's go over to them now.
Why do you try to make our lives